Good evening. Welcome to my first time. I think it's my first time doing this on a weekday evening bedtime stories. I'm coming to you today for chapters 14 and 15 of the book that I'm reviewing, that Take All of Me. And the song that I played by Danity Kane, Damaged, is a perfect theme for these two chapters. Kara is truly damaged, and Drew is trying to fix it. It may be something that he can't fix. Fix it, how you gonna fix it? And he didn't damage her. The events in this chapter is what damaged her by no desire of her own. Tonight I'm still using the Black Heart 93 proof spiced rum. This time I decided to make a smoothie. This is fruit and some, I think there's pineapple, mango, and peaches. And what's making it green is basil. So I thought I'd try it. I just threw it in there as a smoothie because really I don't have no chase. It was that or I'm drinking it straight on this camera. You know what I'm saying? It makes for a decent daiquiri. Well, is it a daiquiri if you add alcohol to it? If you add rum to a fruity drink, is that now a daiquiri? And not a smoothie? Oh. Anyway, let's get to it. So, we start off chapter 14 with Kara. I'm sorry, I'm taking my time because I'm kind of going back because I read this earlier today. And I'm really trying to pace myself because it's hard because this week I got time, cuz. So I'm trying to really pace myself so I do 2 chapters per day. Really, because I don't have much. I did go out today, but I could have probably read a good full 5 chapters today, but I paced myself. So in chapter 14, this is Kara. She's being released from the hospital. Drew is picking her up. He don't even allow her to walk, honey. She gets, she how when you get released from the hospital, you have to be wheeled out in a wheelchair. No matter how well you feel or not, you have to be wheeled out in a wheelchair. Drew won't even let this chick walk from the wheelchair to the car. Homeboy picked her up out of the chair, which is kind of sexy to me, and put her in the car and put her, hey, how you doing, True Prophets? How you doing? And we're doing, so she doesn't even get to get from the wheelchair to the car. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's like, you thought he was protective earlier in this book? Honey, Drew is uber protective over her. Like, dude, he's in the bathroom. It's not as deep as him going to the bathroom with her, but it is kind of deep because he be in there. Like, when I say he's in the bathroom with her, not when she's taking a dump or anything. I don't think anybody wants to be in the room when someone's taking a dump. That's nasty. Okay? And as Mr. Brown would say, Cora, stop being nasty. That would be nasty. But as far as he's showering with her, well, at least the first night, he's bathing her. He's cooking breakfast for her. He's doing work from home. He's having clients come in. to his condo, his penthouse. Because let's stop calling it a condo like it's a little apartment or a townhouse or something. No, this motherfucker had a penthouse. Okay. So, he gets back. She's still damaged. Okay, from being sexually assaulted by Randall, even though she knows he's dead. She's seen him die. You know what I'm saying? But when you are sexually assaulted, you can't just I don't care if you killed the person. It doesn't make it any better. Seeing this alfalfa lock up there to say, hey, how y'all doing? Trying to get attention. Okay. Did you never really get over that? It's almost like grieving a loved one who crossed over into the other realm. You never stop really grieving. It just gets better. You're able to deal with it better in time. You know what I'm saying? So yes, she's being released, and he's like I said, she's not letting do it. They arrive at his penthouse, okay, and surprise, all of her girlfriends are there, all the people that really care for her. Her girl circle is there, surprised with wine and glasses to welcome her home. And this was a wonderful surprise to her. This was something she really needed, because they weren't allowed, after she woke up from her coma. She told Drew what she told him about Randall. They couldn't come through. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a whole police investigation and the whole thing, until they caught Randall. And then like a couple of days afterwards, that's when she was able to go. A few days after. I don't want to say a couple of days. Read the book. It's less than $5 on Amazon. Take All of Me by Lisa Stevens. Get the book if you want details, okay? I'm not reading this whole book to you. I'm telling you what I got. Okay? So, yes, she came back to his home to hear her friends and family to greet her there, to talk and, just comfort her and welcome her home. And, so basically chapter 14 is just her getting acclimated again or trying to get acclimated of not being in the hospital. Still, really getting a chance to look at her scars, her physical scars. It's going to be a long emotional road for her to get back or get to a new normal for her. And it's, as I read this chapter, I wondered if being in a BDSM relationship, even though they are a couple and they're not just a dom and sub, I wonder if this would be something that is going to help her heal. Because as I was reading about it, I recognized, she was sexually assaulted by a creepazoid, okay? And I looked up sexual assault, not necessarily sexual assault. I looked up the R word for sexual assault, and the little bit of research I was looking at, I Googled sexual assault and why it happens, why people do it. Okay. And as I suspected, in my 49 years on this earth, I've always heard that sexual assault is not necessarily about sexual arousal or sexual relief. Like, I just gotta get somebody, anybody, let me stick my penis in, or let me allow someone to make someone stick their penis in me, or whatever the situation. It is 9 times out of 10 about power or control or hatred towards whomever you're doing it to. Okay? And I hope you notice that I am being very general in talking about sexual assault as far as when it comes to gender. Because do not get it twisted. Men get sexually assaulted as well, and not by other men. Okay? So I wanted to take a moment to really address sexual assault and how serious this criminal act is and how it affects the person that is the victim for a very, very long time. They may never get back to a normal place. They may never get back to homeostasis in their emotional mind. Okay. I looked up sexual assault, and there was a few articles about it. So I chose an article on D as in dog, W as in wig, whatever, .com. And it was a small section that I'm going to use that Professor Sherry Hamby, Hamby, Hamby. She's a professor at the state of Tennessee. And she said that sexual assault is not about sexual gratification or sexual interest, but more about dominating people. And she also said another cause, or a cause, for lack of a better word. You know, I know y'all some intelligent college graduates that have better words than me. But cause is also toxic masculinity, where young men want to have sexual prowess, and for a long time, it's still here in the United States. A young man that does not have a sexual experience is kind of teased that he's, you know, like the 40-year-old virgin, like he's 40-year-old, he never had sex. We have a whole movie about that. And not having any type of sexual experience if you are a certain age. So they're determined to get it by hook or by crook. So that gets to the point where it's like, hey, look, I don't hate you, but I'm going to have to get this pussy because I need to have this experience. Either you're going to give it to me or you're going to give it to me. And it's still kind of prominent today. And I can tell you, and not going too in depth in my story, but that's the type of sexual assault that I experienced as a young person, a young woman growing up. It was not it wasn't pleasant at all. And when I look back at it, it just wasn't a very pleasant thing to talk about. I can't say it was my boyfriend and we agreed to, and it was, roses and candles and we were in love. I don't have that story. I don't. I did not, and for years I was blamed. I blamed myself. My parents blamed me for not being where I was supposed to be. And Granted, had I been where I was supposed to be, the chances of that happening to me would not have happened. But I should not. Look, I already had enough on me. So I just want to make it very clear that for some of you that may not understand, that sexual assault is any type of sexual advance that you do not want. Okay? Even if you don't say stop, but you don't want it, it is a sexual assault. And that person should know, if you ain't saying nothing, if young men and young ladies, if the person is not saying stop, you make sure that they saying go, like literally out of their mouth. And if they can't speak, then they better write it down. Go ahead. I like this. Continue. Yes, we can have sex tonight. Okay? Because someone could start with it feels good, but may not want to, if they want to stop. Okay? FYI, young people, sex is, and I'm going to be real blunt with you, so hold on to your seats if you're not grown. It's sucking dick. It's licking clits. It is anal sex. Anal penetration. It is vaginal penetration by any object. Be it a penis, a dildo, a finger, a nub, if they don't have a hand, a toe. Okay? That is sexual. That is sex. Period. And point blank. Okay? And if you don't want them touching you sexually, sexual contact is nipples, grabbing the breasts, grabbing the nipples, grabbing the buttocks, grabbing the pussy, as our previous president said, grabbing the pussy. That, if you don't want it, that's sexual assault. Not that you, and young men and young ladies, okay, you may think that they have that come hither look in their eyes. No. If they don't say, yes, I want you to grab my pussy, you don't do it. I don't care what kind of come hither looks that person have in their eyes. I don't care if that person doesn't tell you to stop. If they don't say, I want it, yes, please touch me that way. Yes, I know I want this. Go ahead. Yes, yes, yes. Now, even if they say yes, 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 they say no, stop. And I know it's hard when you're in the midst of you almost to the promised land, and then she says no, or he says nah, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You stop. You find you are a human being. You are not an instinct animal. You find the way to control yourself and pull away. And don't go forth with it. It will be sexual assault. Just because someone says no, does not say anything, doesn't mean that they wanted it. Okay? Are we clear? Before we go forward. I want to be more sensitive and please just, that is, but I did that like a whole teacher. Are we clear? Okay? Just because someone doesn't stop you doesn't mean that they wanted it. FYI, another type of sexual assault is also if you're in a position where you have to perform a sexual act to prevent being harmed more or harmed at all, or embarrassed. AKA, you hanging out at you and your cousin go on a double date. Okay? She's over there giving up the cookies. And you're left in there with homeboy's cousin. They get done, it's like, oh, well, I gotta go. I'm ready to go. He said, but you can't go until you suck my dick. Or, young men, nah, you can't leave here unless you give me head, baby. You have to lick the clit in order to hit the streets. Or you're going to have to do something. Or a woman takes advantage of you men when you're intoxicated or you're asleep. Men can be sexually assaulted as well. Okay? Please make it clear. Sexual assault does not always include a beat down and being left for dead like Randall did Kara in this book. That all types of sexual unwanted touching, required to do certain sexual acts in order to not have crazy pictures come out of you. Making you, the casting couch, that's sexual assault. You can't leave unless you do some type of sexual act with this person or another person, or you agree to have sex with this one person, and then all of a sudden another person comes in that you do not agree to have sex with. That too is sexual assault. And if any of that is happening to you, my people, my followers, my loved ones, anyone that's listening to me, please, there is a national hotline that you can call if this has happened to you. And it's 1-800-656-4673. Please give them a call if this has happened to you. Please. And if it's been a while and you realize, man, when I was 15, I was sexually assaulted. And you're now 54. You know what I'm saying? And you're really just coming to that fact. Get therapy. Get therapy. Get therapy. And I have taken therapy. I have not gotten back into my therapy, but I have taken therapy as well. You need to talk it out. You need to get it right. Okay, so now that we got serious on for you, let's move on to chapter 15. So chapter 15 is the beginning of therapy for Kara, for what she's been through. She's going to therapy individually. So is Drew. He's going to therapy for what has happened. And they're going to couples therapy. And Kara is completely upfront with her beautiful black therapist. You want to know how the author describes her? Get the book. It's on Amazon. It's less than $5. Okay? But she's a beautiful black woman as a therapist. But she let her know how she met Drew, how, she met him online. It was a BDSM relationship. They broke up. They got back together. And now they're back together. And she explained the whole thing. But even the therapist said, oh, what a wonderful love story. And it was. And Kara still kind of blames herself for leaving. And honestly, for entertainment's sake, I want to blame her too, because I told y'all that on Saturday, she was doing too much. She was overthinking it, and she left forgetting that there's a crazy man out there that's already threatened her. She goes back to her house only for her to get knocked out, dragged somewhere, got raped and beat, and left for dead. You know, but it really, you know, she didn't deserve any of that. So, but he's going to therapy, and it seems like she's really getting some, you know, he's being the best person in the relationship. But what I'm concerned about is him being a dom. A dominant man. He's so used to telling people, especially her. Let's not talk about people. Let's talk about her. He's so used to being dominant and demanding and commanding. And is he going to be able to change? If he, I mean, I know he really loves, he claims to be really in love with her, but will he be willing to change and not be so dominant? You understand what I'm saying? Because prior to this situation, he pretty much forced sex on her. He didn't force it. I mean, it was a part of their relationship, but he forced it. And one of the things that kind of made me cringe, and it kind of reminded me of Can't Read the Room Drew again, is a moment in chapter 15 where he says that, you know, she said, "Are you going to punish me?" He says, "Yes. In time, I am going to punish you for leaving the house, leaving the condo, and going against what I told you to do." And it said, but in time, I can only input, if I was Kara, that was cringeworthy. It's like, really? Do you understand what I just got beat? So the last thing I want going forward is someone who says that they love me hitting me. I don't care how sexual it is. It's going to be a long time before he can handle me roughly like he would be able to handle me prior to being sexually assaulted. You know, and I'm concerned that Drew is going to want to do that because that's his nature. He's not just a dominant in the bedroom. He's a dominant person, period. Okay? He's a dom in life, not just in his relationships. The only time that Drew steps back is when he decides to step back and play a role of not so dominant. He never plays the sub. Okay? He just plays not so dominant. That's what I mean, this is just my opinion from what I've read, first volume, this second volume, and I'm concerned that he's not going to understand. At some point she's gonna like, don't tell me what to do. You're at some point she may relate. She may. I don't know. Depends on how the author goes with this. This may be the breaking point of their relationship. Not now. Because Drew is dedicated. He doesn't give up easy. Okay? If Kara is true to her character, she's going to end up breaking it off with Drew. At the end of the book, I have not read the end of the book, but at the end of the day, at the end of this book, I see Cara, possibly, this is my prediction, breaking it off of him because she cannot mentally or emotionally handle being a sub any longer. As much as she loves him, as much as her body reacts to him, and she wants to be whole again like she was. And Drew wants her to hurry up and get back to who she was. And I'm not saying he's not doing it now. He says as long as it takes. But it may take way longer than he thinks for her to really be emotionally ready to get back to the rough sex, the spankings, the butt plugs, and the things of that sort, the type of relationship that they had before. You know, because of what happened. And unfortunately, Randall may end up winning. It won't be, because at the end of chapter 13, or when Randall was dying, he said, I know Drew will never look at you the same because I was the last one in the pussy. You know, and it was like, you sound stupid. Drew is really dedicated. I don't doubt his love for her and still loving her. You know, but she's damaged, so damaged. I just thought I'd let you know. So how you gonna fix it? He can't. You can't fix this. And she may never be the Cara he knew and loved that will allow him to be a dominant in her life. It will only work if he's willing to have vanilla sex for a while. And I don't know if Drew can deal with that. He would have to be kind of like a ghost watching her from afar, giving her the illusion that she's free. And not, you know what I'm saying, just happen to be there when she falls to catch her. You know, I was in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you was from Australia. How you come over here? I thought you went back. No, I did not. You think I was going to ever leave you? But then that can mean, you know what I'm saying? It's so much to come out of that. I mean, I'm 49 years old. And there's still stuff from my personal sexual assault and that whole thing that still plagues me to this day. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's like I just don't let people get that close to me anymore. I don't trust. The trust issues are there, you know. So I'm curious. I'm curious if this is going to be the breaking point of their relationship in the long run. Because I know she's going to want to do it. But as long as Drew is giving her an out, like we don't have to do it, you know, because he's very accommodating. He's very like, when you're ready. When you're ready. Is he going to sleep with somebody else? That's a good question. Will Cara feel any type of way if he sleeps with someone else? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Cara she's kind of a she's unconventional. Because she never needed the girlfriend title. She just wanted to know that he loved her just as much as she loved him. And it was not just this robotic, dom and submissive relationship. You know what I mean? So, and she got that and some. He's totally in with her. But she never wanted to say, I would wonder if Cara would be okay with he, because she knows that he has a high sex drive. You know what I'm saying? And if she cannot physically do it or emotionally and mentally do it, would she be okay with him having someone else? If he, if they agree upon it, if he presents that to him, like, I need something. I want you, but I also don't want to damage you further. Would she be okay with him having sex with another woman? Didn't think I was going to say it. Not this auntie. You didn't think this auntie was going to say, well, maybe she should I'm thinking, maybe let him. I can't do it. I can't. As much as I want you to touch me, my mind is still fucked up from this whole situation until I can get to the point of having sex with you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she should try watching him have sex. I said it. Maybe she should voyeur for a little bit. So at any rate, chapter 15 is with them talking to their couples therapist, and they explained that she couldn't do it. And he realized that she's still feeling vulnerable when she lays down, and he's going to suggest. He said, "Why don't you all try?" And then we go into chapter 16, and we're going to come to that tomorrow. Maybe he's going to say, "Why don't you try watching him have sex with someone else?" Why don't you try watching a pornographic movie together? I'm just saying. I know. I'm pure. I ain't filthy, child. I am a whole grown ass woman. I have a washer and a dryer. I am grown. Okay? And these are things, if you love this person, maybe you would accept someone else to come in. It might work. Because this whole relationship is an unconventional relationship from the break. Falling in love online, meeting in person. It's a BDSM relationship. It starts out as a BDSM relationship and she falls in love with her Dom. And the Dom in love with his son. Not that it doesn't happen. But it was unconventional. This is not we met in a bar. We find out we like the same things. And we have a relationship. We also are interested in BDSM. And so me and my already partner decide to go and see if we can do that type of thing. This is unconventional according to Western civilization. You know what I'm saying? It's unconventional. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful evening. That's all I got for you. I ain't got no more until tomorrow. You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me here on According to Akara, Bedtime Stories. I will see you tomorrow evening. Same bat time, same bat station. Okay? Right here on IG Live. All right? You all have a good one. Bye.